And without further ado, we'll introduce Dr. Dream. He's a holistic healing practitioner. You can read all his goodies on the wall here, but there's more. Because we have before us one of the individuals who can change your life in a few brief words if you're just listening. Come on up here and tell them what for. Love you.
As I look out at each of you, I realize how fortunate I am to be here with you, for all of us to be here together. We do a lot of events, a lot of conferences, and there's not an energy like the energy that we feel here with the Star Knowledge family. Even further to that, I've been crying today. And it seems like I can go days and days and days without crying, and then I get with my Star Knowledge family, and our connection is so deep. And not that our true connection is even known consciously by each of us, but we feel it. And it's allowed me to be in a place where I'm allowing myself to feel some very deep emotions. And as we work with, process, play with the theme of remembrance, I'd like to acknowledge someone that's here who has played a big role in my life in years past, and her name is Regina Richards, and she's right here. And she stepped up in the most beautiful way for me in my life in Sedona around the time I got sole custody of my daughter. And whatever I thought I knew about life and whatever I thought I knew about being a parent, I had to relearn it all. And Regina was there with some of the most important reminders for me, and holding an energy that I can only compare to the energy that the grandmothers, that the elders hold here in our sacred space. And she did that for my daughter and myself and our circle in Sedona. And it's brought me into a very emotional place. It's been 7 or 8 years since we've seen each other in limited contact in that time. And so I don't quite know where I'm going with all this, but now let's see where all this takes us. I've always said that this talk at the Star Knowledge conferences is the one, even though I have a PowerPoint, it's the one where it's not so scripted for me, even though I have a PowerPoint. It's the one where I can just be unfiltered with my heart. And so I really appreciate you all being here with me for this. And really I'm here because I believe in you, and I believe in the power of the collective, and I believe we're the ones to make the difference. And if I didn't believe any one of those statements, there's no way that I could stand here and speak to you. There's no way that I could live my life the way I do. There's no way that I could continue my own rather intensive process of my personal development and evolution. These are the pieces that allow me to get out of bed in the morning and start the day no matter what is in the news, no matter what is being reflected all around us, and reminding me that, that it really is about each of us. And we are being given the invitation to step up and to become. I mean, we're all in the process of becoming, period. And so it's an invitation from Source to step into fully that role of becoming who we came here to be. It's enough of a challenge for me to figure that out for myself on a daily basis. And I just have a lot of faith that each of you are doing your part to figure that out for yourselves on a daily basis. And I like to think, and I know that one of my roles is to support you in that process also. So for me, it's all been about understanding the true nature of reality, or the truest nature of reality that I can bring myself or allow myself to understand in the moment. And it involves understanding the true nature of ourselves. So I couldn't really embark on this path just with the focus outside of me. What is the true nature of reality? What is the true nature of ourselves? It's really, what is my true nature? Who am I? And why am I here? And what is it that I carry, that I have for everyone I come into contact with? Because believe me, when I meet each of you, when I hug you, when I look at you and send blessings your way from across the room, I'm open to receive what you carry for each of us, for me. And I appreciate you because of that. One of the things that I've identified in my own experience is everything pretty much revolves around this concept of BS. And I've been kind of a master at BS in my life. Although these days it's a little different than it ever was. And so when we take a look at what our level of personal BS is in our process of learning about ourselves and the nature of our reality, there's clues, and the clues are readily available for us. We can look at our fears and say, what's going on? What's going on with my fears? What am I afraid of? And how does that fit into my BS? You can look at our stresses. You know, what is it that just can completely unnerve me? And as much as I work on who I am and what my triggers are, there are still things that can come up that just completely, I mean, it's like I don't have a foundation to stand on. So we look at our health, and we see what's going on with our health. We look at our family dynamic, our family relationships, and we see what's happening there, and then the overall energetic picture of our lives. And these are the areas that we find the clues to our BS. Now, it occurs to me that I should probably define what I'm talking about here. I get the feeling some of you know what I'm talking about when I say BS. Do you know? Getting some nods out there? Exactly. I'm talking about belief systems, because our belief systems are guiding everything. And we've come about these in all sorts of different ways, but they deserve to be looked at, because there's a lot of programming and a lot of conditioning. And easy to say right now as we're in the middle or toward the end of 2014, a lot of opportunities right now to identify what's really true. And just because we have a belief system that served us maybe 5 or 10 years ago, doesn't mean that that belief system continues to serve us today. Everything needs to be looked at. As we come into this time in my own life, I'm finding that absolutely every single aspect of who I am, of what I'm about, is coming up for me to look at. It hasn't been an easy process. I would have to say that the last 5 or 6 months for me has been close to some of the most difficult times that I've had in my life. And I don't say that as a victim. I mean, I stand up here embracing what my life is presenting to me, because I've asked for it. On one level or another, I've asked for everything that's happening for me right now. And so the tremendous emotional heartache that I've been going through, I spoke before about clues to belief systems, and one of them was the family dynamic. some of you saw me in Nashville, and I share my story very freely because it's an honor for me to even be up here, and I would dishonor this entire situation by not being as transparent as I can possibly be. And so in my own family dynamic, I have a 14-year-old daughter who has meant the world to me. And at this moment, she wants nothing to do with me at all and won't speak to me, won't answer my texts. And I can't even begin to tell you what that has done to my heart and my emotional body and what that has brought up. And I understand teenagers. I was a teenager once myself. Seems like a long time ago. I just turned 50 a few weeks ago and loving being 50. And so I get it, but all of that, oh, it's a stage, it's this, it's that, the other, doesn't really mitigate the emotional pain that I feel. And I'm still in process on it. And I appreciate the opportunity to share so freely here with you. I caught part of Mary's talk, and we are all in this together. And as much as I will always stand up here or in the corner or wherever I am and remind all of you that I'm here for you, it is with tremendous comfort right now that I'm able to share with you, to share some of my pain, to share some of the emotionality of my own journey, without any concern or fear that you would think any less of me, or, gee, Dr. Dream really doesn't have his act together, does he? You know, or anything like that. Okay, I've said it before and I'll continue to say it. We're all in this together. We're all human. You know, there is no pedestal that will ever work for any of you to put me on. Okay, it's just not that way. One day there'll be a pedestal and we'll all be on that pedestal. And until then, I don't want anything to do with the damn pedestal, okay? And all I want to do is share my truth with you and hope that in those moments of authenticity and transparency, my truth assists you on your journey. Your belief systems are not BS, or are they? And I can't answer that for you. I've had to go through my own process of looking at my own belief systems and saying, wow, where did that one come from? Really? I've been believing that, holding that as truth for this long? Remember, I just turned 50. And then it just allows us the opportunities to replace it with a belief system that resonates more with truth. And then not to beat ourselves up over the fact that we're letting go of a belief system. You know, no overlay of, wow, that's been damaging for me to hold on to. It's very important to know that in some aspect, every belief system, even the ones we identify now that aren't serving us in this moment, at some point served us. It helped you to an epiphany. It helped you in your survival. It helped you. So there's no beating ourselves up over, wow, that belief system is crazy. No, at some point, it was a good one. But once you're past that, it's like, okay, it deserves to be revamped, re-upped. We talk a lot about what's going on with old paradigm energies. And I often find myself saying it's a bit of a challenge to walk that fine line between old paradigm and new paradigm. Okay, because I can't quite, we don't have, like we were talking in the car with the person that brought us here about like karma bank accounts and things like that. You're running around the world and you're doing your path and mission and it's just all being deposited in your karma bank account, and then when your rent's due, it's just like it automatically comes out. Or I can't hug my landlord yet and say, thank you so much for providing this house for us. We'll continue to do the good work that we're out there doing. So we have to kind of work between the paradigms. But that in itself is a belief system, right? I mean, could be my own limiting belief system standing up here to you saying, hey, we got to walk the fine line. Maybe not. Maybe the better belief system is the old paradigm is just that, the old paradigm. So stop being so afraid, Dr. Dream, and take your foot out of the old paradigm and put both feet in the new paradigm. But these are belief systems. And what I'm trying to get across here is I can stand here and rationalize any belief system. And I can make it real for me, and I can suffer, I can experience the consequences of that, be they the higher consequences or the lower consequences, I guess whatever lesson I need. But it's the same thing for all of us. And so all I'm here to do is to challenge you on your own belief systems, not the specifics of them, just to suggest, hey, might be a good exercise to kind of go through where you're at with your belief systems, relate it to the clues of your family dynamic, your health, your energetic, and what's lacking, what's not falling into place. And I believe you'll find a belief system that no longer serves you. It did, but I don't believe it does anymore. And that's what I'm challenging you to find. I'm not challenging specific belief systems of yours. For me, the body as a barometer, constriction right here for me means a belief system that isn't serving me, or one that doesn't resonate with who I truly am or who I am truly in the process of becoming. Expansion in my heart space means a belief system that serves my highest self, and I feel that in my body. Because we have all the answers. And they don't need to come from our minds. They don't need to come from our brains. Let your body guide you. You know, what is it with you when you're in an uncomfortable situation or you're doing something that you know you could do at a higher level? What are you feeling inside? And follow that. That's your intuition. That's your inner knowing. That's what's going to get us through all of this. We're all in this together, and every experience we have offers us the opportunity to expand into a greater love. I love that. So every experience I have, no matter how challenging, no matter how triggered I get, is just another opportunity for me to expand my heart space, to be that loving, compassionate being that I came here to be. Now, we've got some exciting things coming up in the next couple of days. Laura's lecture is going to be right after this in this room. And then she's got a double workshop tonight at 7 o'clock, Gaia Sophia, Timelines and Global Alchemy. If you've not heard Laura speak, you will want to be there. She is most definitely a steward for us in relation to ourselves, in relation to galactic history, in relation to Gaia, Sophia, and all the energies that need us and are here to help us. And nobody frames that better than Laura Eisenhower and makes it more available for us to understand. And then at 9 o'clock tonight, in a 50-minute time slot, I've got a 2-hour presentation called Practical Ascension, the Lost User's Guide. But I'm not going to cram it all into 50 minutes. I'm going to actually give you the introduction and some really nice nuggets from that, either to get you interested in being at the workshop, or just to give you something you can take with you, whether you're there or not. And then tomorrow at 7 o'clock, Laura has another double workshop, ETs, Mars Agenda, and Alternative 4. And these are lots of distinctively different information, but the two of those workshops together give such a strong foundation for all of us in looking at what's happening, what's happened, and the possibilities of what can happen in the future for us. And so I highly recommend it. And then I'm really incredibly excited. Tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock, we're doing a Universal Love Galactivation. It's called the Rose Frequency, or that's the flavor that we've been doing since the 11/11 conference last year. And this will be our 200th galactivation experience since January of 2010. it's a special number for me. It's really special that it's happening here. I thought it was going to happen before I got here, and so I'm just incredibly excited that it's going to be here. We normally do our galactivation experiences for an hour and a half, so if you're going to do this tomorrow, make sure you get there on time and just fasten your seatbelt and be ready for a heart-opening experience and just to take in all that energy and share the amazing energy that you all carry with all of us. But I want to talk to you a little bit about Practical Ascension, the Lost User's Guide. And this, for me, has been an important focus for me. I want it to be practical, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that means. When I came up with the idea of the Lost User's Guide, I wasn't sure if it should be the Lost User's Guide or the Lost User's Guide, and I'm still not quite sure, so I throw it out there. You guys decide how that works. But when we talk about practical, we're talking about relating to what is real rather than what is possible or imagined. I want to know what's real, and I want to know how to do it now. Okay? I'm not here, we talked this, we didn't choose to come here this time around for a Club Med vacation. Okay, so we're past the dress rehearsal, and you tell me what's real, how to do it, and how to excel at this experience that we're having. Likely to succeed, reasonable to do or use, appropriate or suited for actual use, it just works. Let's talk about ascension. The act of rising or ascending, especially the act of moving to a higher or more powerful position. Don't you all feel that? I mean, we're here in the remembrance energetic, so we're remembering where we came from and what our evolution has been and what our growth has been. Are you feeling that? I mean, they used to have that thing about the, oh gosh, it's the boiled frog thing, but someone came up and told me it wasn't true, but I'm going to tell you the metaphor anyway, or the story. If you put a frog in boiling water, it will jump out of the water. Okay, if you put a frog in a pot of room temperature water and bring it up to boil, it will allow itself to be boiled. It doesn't know what's going on. It doesn't understand the process. Okay, the shock of being dropped in boiling water, it gets like, oh, damn, I'm out of here. Okay, but that process of going through it, well, I look at our own evolution. Okay, we're ascending. We're going through this. Look at who you were 10 years ago. Look at what you believed. Look at how you worked energy. Look at how you played love. And now look at how you're doing it now. I'd be hard-pressed to say anyone in this room hasn't grown expansively in that amount of time. And yet I kind of feel like we're all in that pot of water, and we got in when it was room temperature, and we don't really give ourselves credit for how much we've expanded, for how powerful we are, for what we're capable of doing. But we have to right now understand that, and we have to own that, because that's what's going to take us to the next level. And so just think of that thing. I know it's kind of weird, boiling frogs and all that, but just think of that. We're not noticing what's really going on. Because, too deep in the forest to see the trees, okay? I mean, we can throw all these cliches and metaphors out there, but there's a reason for them. And so own it. Own who you've become and who you're in the process of becoming. I'm going to just kind of flip right through this. Practical ascension, to me, this is what will actually work to raise our frequency and to create an expansive shift. And let's face it, aren't there powers already out there that are thinking that they can possibly keep us from raising our frequency? They must be thinking that because they keep spraying the damn chemtrails. And I keep looking up and laughing and saying, sorry guys, too high vibe, nice last shot effort at all this. Okay, we all have to get to that point. We all have to get to that point that we realize that all the lower level energetic attacks and everything else that's going on out there, the control agendas that we're going to keep you under our thumb stuff, it's failing. The power of the human spirit, and no one speaks better about that than Laura Eisenhower, but the power of the human spirit will overcome all of this. But you know what? It's a belief system, and you've got to believe it. That makes it real. You've got to own this. That's how we rise up. That's how we all step up to that next level, that next pedestal that we'll all be on, because we all deserve to be on that. That's what's happening here. So my presentation this evening is real, it's practical, it's for everyone, it works, and it starts now. You're listening to it now, it starts now. It starts with a mindset and a heart set. And everything changes from there. And I'm not telling you anything new because you already know it. I'm just here to assist you in remembering. I would never be so bold and so misguided to think I'm here to teach you something you don't know. I'm here to love you unconditionally. I'm here to support you at the level that I can and that you allow me to. Because otherwise, I wouldn't have shown up in your reality. Now, maybe that level of support is listening to what I'm saying right now, feeling my heart energy and feeling my love for you. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's more. And we'll talk about opportunities for more. Dr. Terry Friedman, in his book, Freedom Through Health, tells us that raising our vibrational frequency aids in restoring health to the body, clarity to the mind, and attunement to the spirit. I've met Dr. Terry Friedman, and he's a great guy. The only reason I quote some doctors is that I'm Dr. Dream. And these are doctors with actual initials after their name and everything, and so I just like to bring some of that in. Tonight in the workshop, we're going to talk about studies involving the frequency of essential oils in relation to our physical and emotional bodies. Okay? This is science, and I'll be presenting it to you. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I wouldn't stand up and talk to anyone about science if my life depended on it. I didn't think science could explain anything that my heart was feeling. I had a big awakening about 8 years ago, and I realized that science could explain why I flock to total solar eclipses all around the world, because it's a freedom that I have never felt energetically in this life experience before. But science shows, with tuning forks set up all around the planet, that during a total solar eclipse, there is a change in the frequency, in the resonant frequency of this planet. I was like, wow, science got that? I mean, I was just feeling that in my heart, and it was big. And I've traveled to 5 continents to see total solar eclipses, to feel that energy. And science explains it. And science explains how essential oils can take our frequency and raise our frequency, and can assist us in what we're dealing with physically, emotionally, spiritually. I challenge you to bring me something that essential oils cannot assist with. It's from God, it's from source, it's concentrated power, energy, life force energy from those plants and everything. Amazing. Well, we've got some rose anointing oil that will be a big part of the rose frequency galactivation tomorrow. But whether you're at that or not, I got some in my pocket, and we got a table back there, and Regina's back there helping. And I mean, check it out. You don't need to buy it. Let us put some on you, okay? But if you want to take some home, there's some available. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about the differences in essential oils and how that really makes a difference. And so if you've had a marginal experience with an essential oil and you're like, that stuff's bunk, it could be that the essential oil you used was bunk. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. And then there's a conversation we're going to have tonight that I love, because it's about David Hawkins' work with the scale of human consciousness, the map of human consciousness. And again, this is more science, lots of studies in this. And what we're going to show you tonight is that any one of us in this room has the potential to offset the energy of people holding a lower frequency, of 70 million people holding a lower frequency. So if you don't think you make a difference and you question that weekly, daily, moment to moment, you show up at that workshop tonight, I will prove to you that you make a difference. No matter what the heck is going on around you, no matter how chaotic it gets or it's going to get. And that's why it's so important for us to come together like this and connect and find the strength and strengthen our foundations and remind each other that we're not alone and that we're out there playing the roles that we're here to play and that we're making a difference. And it's not about us all doing the same thing. It wouldn't work, okay? It's about each of us doing what we're passionate about and putting it out there and not holding back. The time for holding back is past. Putting it out there in the biggest way you possibly can. Okay? That doesn't mean that everyone's going to get a radio show or get on TV or this, that, and the other. It may mean that in your family of origin, you're here to make the difference. You're here to heal the ancestry of your family. I've been doing a lot of work in the last 4 weeks with a healing practitioner that at times in my life over the last 13 years, she has stepped up to really allow me to grow. And one of the things that's been happening in the last couple of sessions is tremendous family lineage healing in my family. So Dr. Emoto transitioned recently. He has had a really tremendous impact on so many of us because his work showed us visually, okay? For all those people out there that just didn't want to dip into their heart space and really feel things, okay? And it's probably not a lot of in this room, but Dr. Emoto's work really allowed them to see it, and then it guided them into feeling it. What I love is this particular experiment that he did called the rice experiment. And it's a demonstration of the power of negative thinking, or really it's a demonstration of the power of positive thinking, or really it's both, like everything is, shadow and light. In this experiment, Dr. Emoto placed portions of cooked rice into 2 containers, identical containers. On one container he wrote, "Thank you," and on the other he wrote, "You fool." He then instructed school children to say the labels on the jars out loud every day when they passed by them. After 30 days, the rice in the container with the positive thoughts had barely changed, while the other was moldy and rotten. Try it, folks. This is easy. It costs next to nothing, okay? You do it at home. If you have children or grandchildren, this is a very powerful lesson because it reminds us the power of our words. It reminds us the power of our thoughts. It empowers us to realize how powerful we are. Let's make sure that our children and our grandchildren and ourselves know this, own this in every moment. This is the time. In each moment, we're communicating our desires and our intentions to Source. It's in all we do, in every thought, in every conversation, in every action and reaction. This is the opportunity we have in each moment. I was having a conversation with someone today, and she said, she was talking to me about someone that I had asked about, and she said, you know how sometimes we make a decision by not making a decision? Oh, yeah. Because the opportunity to make a choice, the opportunity to figuratively wave a flag to Source and say, hey, this is what I'm about, this is what I believe in wholeheartedly, is in front of us every single moment. In every single conversation we have, we can choose to frame things in a way that brings down the energy or that raises it up. And it can be the same conversation. It can be the same topic. How are you framing things for the people you're talking to? If I sit down and have a conversation with you tonight, am I going to walk away enlivened, impassioned, inspired by you? You have that available to you. When you walk away from me, I want you to walk away with something that has enriched you, that something that has made you feel better, something that has given you a perspective maybe you just had forgotten about, because it's available, because I can do that, because we all can do that. It's energy. We're all energy, and we're all running around working, or as I prefer to say, playing with energy. And all I'm asking of you is to realize how you're working with, how you're playing with energy. There's not so much with star knowledge, but there's conferences we go to and people come up to us, and I love everybody, okay? I love humanity. But there are times that people come up and they don't know how they're working energy. And it ends up being, I feel it. They want my energy and they're draining it. They want to drain it. I don't allow it, but I feel it when it's starting to happen. You can stop it, okay? It's not like the vampire movies, okay? There may be energy vampires out there. I believe most of them don't know what they're doing. They were conditioned by their parents. This is the way it works. I pretend I'm hurt, or when I get hurt, I get love and attention. Okay, that's working energy. When I act like the victim, I get attention. That's an old conditioning or a programming. Okay, so yeah, I guess there are energy vampires out there because they're not aware of how they're being in this experience. And I'm just asking of myself and everyone else, how are you being with your energy? How are you working it? When you come up and express something to someone and connect with someone at these events or anywhere in your life, are you creating an energetic loop? Or are you just walking away feeling good and they're walking away feeling a little bit down? Okay, we need to create these energetic loops. And there's nothing more beautiful than that, because when you do that, you're honoring the person that you're establishing that with. I've gone up to a number of people today here and expressed my gratitude and my love. And I took the opportunity to let several people today and even yesterday, I guess every day, but whatever, know how much their presence in my experience means to me. Okay? Take that opportunity. There's no better place than right here. The folks that have stepped up to put on this event, and it's Jen and Kelly and everyone else, have gone through so much. And they did this for all of us. And believe me, it was at the expense of their lives, their families, and their energetic fields and everything else for the last 5 weeks. But they stepped up, and nothing was going to stop them from creating this opportunity for us to share love and information and open our hearts. So please take the opportunity to create an energetic loop with them. We all know how to do it. And when we're really good at it, you don't even have to think about it. And you're just going around looping with everyone and giving them energy. And they walk away going, wow, that was great. And I didn't learn this because I was good at this always. I learned this because in my life I'm looking for inspiration. I'm looking for reflections that I can express my gratitude, because that's what makes my life worth living. And the examples of people that live this way, and I see you right here, brother, and I have so much love and respect for you, and I came up and shared with you today, and as I'm talking about all this, you're an example, you're an inspiration, and it's not because you stand up and you say, I'm going to teach you how energy works, I'm going to teach you how to be balanced and everything. It's that you're just being that way. That's who you are. And I look to you, and I feel that from you. And I well up with the gratitude of you being a presence in my life. And I could pick about another 40 people in this room and say the same thing to. But my belief system is that everyone I come into contact with has something in them to inspire me, has something in them for me to feel an expanded compassion and love, has something in them that can touch me and help me on my journey. Every single person that I come into contact with, bar none. Keep your heart open to dreams, for as long as there's a dream, there is hope, and as long as there is hope, there is joy in living. So find the joy in living. Dream your biggest dream. That's how they called me Dr. Dream. I developed a program called Dream the Biggest Dream. Everyone started calling me Dr. Dream, and it's because I knew the value of having a dream, and not just having a dream, but knowing that I can live that dream. That dreams are real, not the old paradigm dreams where it's always over there out of reach. It's the new paradigm dream. This is what I'm dreaming. It feels right to me. It fits with my path and mission. Why wouldn't that dream come true? I'm not talking about, 7 garages and 6 Ferraris or whatever, okay? I'm talking about being here, being in service, and having opportunities to share my love and the love that I carry. That's what I do. When people come to us, and we get a lot of this, people that are depressed, people that just, what's it about? Why are they here? There was the whole Robin Williams thing and everything else brings light to that it's really difficult for all of us. No matter how we make it look on the outside, it's not a cakewalk being here. And everybody needs our love and support and understanding. But when we feel that way, when someone comes into our center and feels that way, I know right away they've lost their connection to spirit. Maybe it's just momentarily. Maybe it's been building up over a while. But that connection to spirit makes everything here make sense. And without that connection to spirit, we might as well just end it all, because it doesn't make sense. Nothing here makes sense then. There's no strength for us. There's no hope. There's no faith. There's no knowing. So we reach for the frankincense. We grab some powerful tuning forks, and just assist people in getting back into that deep connection to spirit. So I stand up here. I share from my heart. People say, "Oh, Dr. Dream, so much courage to be vulnerable, and you're so authentic and you're so transparent." Okay, you know what? I appreciate you saying nice things to me, but shouldn't we all just be this way and not have it be like, "Oh, wow, look at that. That person's being transparent." Okay? How about we all just step into that and be authentic with what we're feeling, with what we're going through? I don't need to sugarcoat it for you guys. I don't need to stand up here and pretend I've got it all figured out. Okay? What would that serve? So, what do you want in life? Don't you want reflections of authenticity? Don't you want what's real? Well, the only way you're going to get it is to be authentic yourselves and to be real yourselves. And drop all the stuff where you're judging yourself and you have to pretend to be something you're not. Or pretend you've got it figured out. When do any of us really have it figured out? I'm willing to talk to someone who does. Again, it serves you until the moment you let it go. Okay? We get a lot of people come to us dealing with different addictions and things like that. And when they realize that they have a problem and it's no longer serving them and this tool is no longer a tool, I believe everything's a tool. You know when it's ruling you or you're ruling it. I believe alcohol can be a tool, although I won't touch a drop of alcohol because I think it's a hard line to walk with alcohol being a tool. But I want you to know that if you're still dealing with an addiction and you're shining the light on it, pat yourself on the back. This is not the time to beat yourself up for years of being in addiction. This is the time to say, wow, I'm realizing it, and I'm moving into this process. And I didn't develop this addiction overnight, and I probably am not going to lose it overnight, unless your belief system accommodates it, and then I've seen it happen. If you need help with it, I'll help you with it. Okay? I really am here for you. Laura and I do Dream Team sessions. It's an amazing expression of the talents and the gifts that we have fine-tuned, in our life experience, and we get to share that with you. It's like tag team healing, and it's powerful and wonderful, and yeah. Tomorrow night, the Rose Frequency Universal Love Galactivation Experience. Again, since January 2010, this is our 200th group energetic experience, and this is our 109th city around the world that it's taken place in. This anchors energy, and we would love to have you there with us, experiencing this with us. I am Dr. Dream, and I'm all about universal love, and I'm just like the rest of you, and this is what I'm choosing, and this is how I'm living, and this is part of my process. Ding, ding, ding. I kind of was trying to do a ringer. I didn't do very well, right? It's for you. I offer no-charge 15-minute consultations, okay? I'm not standing up here with my hand out. We don't keep a table set up. I do want you to be able to get the rose frequency oils and things like that if you want it. But it's not about what can you give to me. I will tell you that everyone who's done a 15-minute no-charge consultation with me gives me just as much as they receive from me. And it's changed my life. So don't hold back. You know, and some people, we do 15 minutes every few days or every week, you know, until you get what you need. And if you can't pay for it, don't worry about it, okay? What comes around goes around, and we'll figure it out. Okay? But don't make it an obstacle to getting some assistance. Don't make it an obstacle to getting the support that you need. I'm freely offering myself, my services, all that I am, up on a platter for you. Okay? Take advantage of it if you want. But it's there. All right? I don't know what else to do. I really don't. I want to be of assistance. You know, you feel it already. I love you guys. I love the Star Knowledge family. I love what Chief Golden Light Eagle has done. The grandmothers never stop touching my heart. All of the elders that come together and share and open themselves to us, inspire me, and assist me in staying on my path and being at the peak level of energy transference that I have for all of you and for humanity and the collective in this planet. And so I thank you, and I salute you, and I'm inspired by you, and thanks so much for sitting in here and listening to all this.